to dominate listings in any market area. So let's say that you're at a point in your real estate business where you're tired of dealing with all these buyers, you want to start working with more sellers and having more of your business be listing focused. Where do you begin? And I mean, maybe you're trying to get your first listing, your next listing, whatever it is. If you want to do more on the listing side of the business, you're going to want to listen up and apply the 3 things I'm about to share with you. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Tyler Roicki. I help people build income and wealth in real estate, and I run an international real estate team at eXp Realty. If you get any value whatsoever out of this video, all I'd ask is that you like, comment, and hit that subscribe button so that I can continue to share more tips and resources with you in the time ahead. And with that being said, let's dive right into the video. So you might be wondering, it's like, what am I speaking from? My experience? Well, I started the business as an agent, spent the first 5 years in production, and then started to build my real estate team, which it's not a conventional team, it's international. But I was looking at my back office the other day and I realized a couple things. And the biggest thing that's relevant to this video is I realized that, crazy enough, my team is mostly listing based. It's almost 60-40. So we're working with more sellers than buyers. And I'm gonna share some tips with you on how you can build that listing business as well. And to put in context, that team I run, we sell over a home a day. Like as of the past 3 months, it was like 1.5 homes a day. So we're very consistently taking on listings, seizing opportunities. And even amongst my team, as crazy as it might sound, there's definitely an opportunity for more of the team members to apply what it is I'm about to share with you. And so I'm opening up the playbook in a way for you, but this video specifically, it's gonna be some simple things to go and apply. But the first thing you're gonna wanna go and apply is prospecting. So you've got to actively prospect for listings if you want to get more listings and have it be listing based. I mean, it's easy to navigate this business, really helping what comes across our radar. I mean, if we do a good job letting our friends and family know and stay consistent about that and stay top of mind on social media, like from time to time, we're gonna come across someone we can help, and a lot of times it's gonna be a buyer. But if we wanna intentionally take on more listings, we have to go and seek out those listings. And so what you're gonna wanna do is pick what your core method is of prospecting for listings. And I'm gonna give you 2 options here. One is targeted phone prospecting, and 2 is door knocking. So one of those 2 things, pick one and focus on it. And within those 2 methods, I mean, you can really niche down if you wanted. For instance, targeted phone prospecting, you might be targeting expired listings. You might be targeting for sell by owners, or you might be targeting people that have high equity in their house or live out of state and own a property. Maybe that's a property they're renting out. It's commonplace that as landlords, there's tenant issues that come up time to time. So whatever the case is, have your method of targeted prospecting that you do it, and do it consistently, week in, week out. Have a set amount of time and days you spend on it, and you've got to be making a lot of reps with it. And with door knocking, like really get strategic on what you're gonna do to get people that are receptive to the value you bring. It's good if you bring something of value to the table. It's good if you have something that can get people engaging with you, even the people who don't answer the door. Like, what can you do to get them to call you? If you were at their door, they weren't there, what did you leave that piqued their interest? So some things to think about. But if you do this well and you have a lot of reps, you make a lot of contacts week in, week out, you're going to find listing opportunities. The only way you don't is either 1, you're not making the contacts, you're not making the attempts, and or 2, you don't have a piece of value that gets people engaged in having the conversation with you. So if you have that all dialed in, it's inevitable you're going to find listing opportunities by just putting in the sheer work. Now, the second thing you're going to want to do on top of that is marketing. So marketing is going to enhance your prospecting efforts if it's done correctly. And again, I'm gonna give you 2 different options and ways to go about this. 1 is direct mail, that's the old school. 2 is digital marketing, that's the new school. I mean, you could do both, but I'd say pick one to start with. And really, again, sharpen it. Like, what is the message? What is it that people are seeing, and what does the response rate look like? It's good if you can follow a proven formula and strategy as far as this goes. It's not just about sending people a piece of mail or being in front of people on their feed online on the ad front. No, it's what is your message? What is your copy? That's the key right there. What is your copy and how does it actually get a response? And the messaging is going to make all the difference in the world as far as what your response rate is, whether it's literally 0 or if there's a solid percentage of people that are reaching out for you, which in any event, it's not going to be an insanely high percentage, but like you've got to have something. You've got to know that at the end of the day, if you send out 1,000 pieces of direct mail, you've got to know that you've got a certain percentage, whether it's 1 or 2% or even a higher percent that respond to you. And it's all going to come down to what is your actual message and how does it hit with the people that are reading it? Because you got a split second to capture attention. You got to capture it and you got to be able to convey enough value to where people are going to want to reach out, especially if your message is for them and if it's someone who meets the criteria of someone who's got in their mind that they're gonna sell their home, make a move, or do something along those lines. But again, pick one: direct mail or digital marketing, in which you're running paid ads and putting your message in front of people that way. And the third thing you're gonna wanna do so that you can begin to dominate listings in your local market is follow up. If you're doing these first two things very well, this third thing is going to be the make or break as far as whether you actually get the business. And this is the personal touches you have with what I'm going to call your growing warm audience. And that's your database. So you've got to have a database. You've got to have a place where you're keeping tally on your contacts and keeping notes and really setting up reminders as far as when you need to get connected with people again as you're having conversations. Because if you're having a ton of conversations, you should be stacking up and building up this database, and it should be getting to a point where you can't remember off the top of your head who you need to be in front of when. And that's why, you know, this system, having a database and having reminders built in and having that systemized as far as how you keep track of all this, it's going to be important. Because I mean, if you have enough people that you can keep track of, I mean, for most of us, our memory's not through the roof crazy like that. Like, we remember things, but we don't have like a genius kind of memory level. If that's you, you've got to have a system that remembers everything for you. And the key with the follow-up though is beyond just having a place where you keep tally on everything, it's going to be 1, phone conversations, and 2, what you do on social media with your organic content. So phone conversations, it's important that you stay in touch with people when you're supposed to and even ahead of schedule, because if you're not in front of someone the day that it crosses their mind that they're gonna talk with somebody about listing their house, you're not gonna have that opportunity. You've gotta be closest in proximity to that person when that time comes. The way you're gonna do that is by keeping the phone conversations going time and time again, especially as that time draws near. And so as you're making all these contacts, make note, if someone tells you they're thinking about moving into spring and it's winter right now, you better not be reaching out in spring. You got to reach out before it's springtime and make sure that things are in motion to where you can have that appointment with them, sit down with them and discuss the next steps before it is ready to happen. And you know, it's up to you to pick up the phone. You can't depend on other people to make that phone conversation happen. You got to make it happen time and time and time again. And social media, this is going to help because staying top of mind in people's feed, I mean, you might not have every single person you're following up with who is connected with you on social media, but it's likely some of them are. And it's going to help if the people in your feed can see you time and time again doing positive things in real estate, educating, entertaining, sharing impactful messages from time to time, especially any client results you have, like share those. It really helps, especially if you got a crazy result for someone, share the story behind it. Share exactly what the numbers looked like, how much money you were able to save this person, etc., because that's gonna serve as social proof for people. Like, no one wants to be your experiment, but if they see time and time again that you're helping people through the process of this, it's going to become more familiar to them that it's something that you do and that you do well, and that's going to help to build up the trust that by the time you make that phone conversation happen and it's time that they're about to make a move, there's not going to be as much of a thought on their mind as far as whether or not you're the person for that role. If you're doing the best job staying in front of them when that time comes on the phone as well as on their feed, it's almost going to be a no-brainer for most of them that you're the obvious person they should be touching base with about that. And if you fail to do those two things well, there's a chance that there's another realtor out there that did it better, and that's going to be the person that gets that opportunity. So do you want to leave that up to chance, or do you want to make sure that you're doing the very best that you can to actually have that opportunity when it comes time for anyone that you're connected with and anyone that you're following up with? So I'm going to summarize these 3 things, but these are your action items. Go and put it into your calendar. Time block it. Prospecting is what should get the bulk of your time. It's going to be the most time consuming thing. How many hours a week are you going to spend phone prospecting or door knocking, and what's your target as far as how many contacts you want to make? I would have those 2 metrics. You can't just talk to a handful of people and expect something to happen. You got to run bigger numbers, make as many contacts as possible, but decide going into things how much of your week is going to be spent on that, and then go execute and follow the game plan, track your numbers, and keep yourself accountable to hitting those targets that you set. But the action items are: 1, prospect. Pick your form of prospecting, targeted phone prospecting or door knocking. 2, marketing. Pick your form of marketing: direct mail. Again, that's targeted to people who own houses, or digital marketing, which is going to be more so to people in your local market area. And then 3, follow up, follow up, follow up. This is the difference between you doing those first 2 things well and getting mediocre results, and it's the difference between you getting phenomenal results, because it's all going to be based on how well you stay in front of people and keep that phone conversation going and follow up when you're supposed to, even ahead of schedule. And then 2, staying top of mind in people's feeds, because everyone's spending time on their social media, and they're either seeing you consistently in their feed, doing stuff that's related to real estate, adding value, educating, and sharing those client testimonials and results that you produce. They're either going to see you doing that or not. And if they don't see you, I mean, you can make that call, but if they haven't even seen you in the meantime, how do they know that you're real? How do they know that you actually do what it is you say you're doing, versus them just knowing it because they see it all the time? So I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. But those are the 3 things that you should be doing now and applying immediately if you want to dominate listings in your local market area. And the better that you do those 3 things and more consistently you do it, the more of that market share that you're going to take on the listing side of things, and the more of your business is going to be listing based as a result. And so if you found this video helpful, do me a solid, drop a like. Most importantly, hit the subscribe though, because I want to share more helpful information like this to help you build your business. And beyond what it is we talked about here in this video, I want to offer you an opportunity to connect with me. If there's anything I can do to help you now or in the future to add to what it is you've got going in your business to produce more results and hit your goals, I'm all ears as far as what I can bring to the table to help you. So go ahead and do this. Send me an email. I'm more than happy to connect and see what else I can do to help you get to where it is you want to go in this business. And all that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. And until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.